Hello everybody, here we go for part one of another one of those compilation over several days, unpackaging, disboxing, de-envelopation things. So what do I got today? I've got something from Harrow. It's come in an envelope with some nice Christmassy stamps on it. And some bubble wrap. Ah, I can see through this. This is a sequel, or soundtrack to a sequel, but that's kind of obvious. Where the original movie was by Jerry Goldsmith, and the sequel was by Lee Holdridge. I'll let you ponder that for a moment and see if you can work out what it is. Those of you who are nerds will know. It's animation. It's on a label called Sonic Images. It's Secret of Nim 2. Timmy to the rescue. So that's one thing. Here's something from Music Magpie. Yes, them again. Oh yes, it's a Mark Isham that was being talked about. Oh dearie me. Knackered jewel case again. Yes, it was being talked about by the likes of Eric Woods and the Batman Show. It's me while I drop all these little broken lugs into the bin. I should be getting a replacement tray for that as soon as I can find one. Look at all those. Can you see all those? Let's find it against my face there. Look at that. Broken lugs. There's only 2 teeth left in that. Sort of Bugs Bunny. It's racing stripes. It's taken a while to get here, that one. Oh, blimey. Yes. The rest of the jewel case is a little bit loose and wobbly as well. So that may need some work later. Oh, then this one. Where's this one come from? CT10 says the postcode. Well, CT is Canterbury. 10 might be somewhere sort of in the outer reaches. Aha! More Holdridge. This was again because Eric was recommending stuff, and I've already got 2 or 3, and I did think the 2 or 3 that I got were very good. So this is that. Into Thin Air, Death on Everest. TV. Nice plastic bag for that. Let's see if this is in decent nick. Yes, it is. Everything's intact on the inside of that one. There's the man himself. So, 2 Holdridges, and somebody tell me whether it's Isham or Isham. Anyway, that's all until the next part. Hello again. It's now Wednesday, the 30th of November. Got a box. I think this is I bought some sale items from SAE or FSM, Screen Archives Entertainment. I think that's what this is going to be. We'll see. Peanuts. Bubble wrap. What have we got? Yes, that's what it is. This is a movie score media. Most of Pano Altio stuff seems to be only digital, so finding something that's actually had a physical release was quite nice. So I know nothing about it. I'll give it a go though. The Home of Dark Butterflies. Then we have, what do we have? We've got, yeah, I was buying a bunch of Velasquez really. Yes, Fernando Velasquez, Birdman will approve. There's Garbo, The Spy, and Shiver, and those are both on Movie Score Media. And then there's Tom Scott's Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, paired with Leonard Roseman's Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is on FSM. James Newton Howard, Alive, and Christopher Young, Bless the Child. Yeah, those were all in the sale, so I thought I'd give them a go. There'll be more sooner or later, probably sooner. Hello folks, it's Tuesday the 6th of December. A few days since I received anything, but I've got some bits and bobs here. This will do first, I think, because this is clearly records. Well, I can remember ordering some records. These were second hand, but you know. What do we have here? Yeah. This is a Clint Mansell, In the Wall, which is a Death Waltz release. And what have we got? We've got all sorts of bits and bobs here. We've got a print. And it's supposed to have a poster in it. I did not know it would have a poster in it. It has. It's there. It's far too big to show on this camera. No. Fold that up the correct way. Not sure I have done. And then the disc itself is on this yellow and brown splatter vinyl. Interesting. Yeah, it was going at a knockdown price, so I thought, well, I'll give that a go. I didn't know it was going to come with a print and a poster, so there we are. Not that it's the world's prettiest poster, of course, but there we are. Get in the sleeve. Go in there. There. And then there was another one, which was another Death Waltz, Big Bad Wolves. On a gatefold, and that's by Frank Ilfman. I've got one other by him, but I think was Gunpowder Milkshake, which is only on digital. So this is the first physical release I've got by him, and that's on a sort of pale pink splatter vinyl. Yeah, so that's interesting. Let's see what that's like. And it looks like that comes with some sort of a print as well. What's in there? That's okay. There's a sort of double-sided leaflet there. Yeah, coolio. In terms of other stuff, I think this is going to be DVDs. Yeah. Just didn't own that on physical. Yeah, I think I'd kind of taped it off the telly years ago. Back to the Future trilogy. £3.59. That'll do, won't it? 4-disc Ultimate Edition. Making ofs, outtakes, deleted scenes, yada yada yada. It's still Tuesday the 6th, but somewhat later, as you can tell by the artificial light now. I realised that there was an order I'd placed way back in October for like 7 or 8 things, second hand from World of Books, and they'd send a notification saying, you know, your order may arrive in separate parcels. It's not all being shipped from the same place, obviously. I'd received some of it, and I'd just completely forgotten about the rest of it until I was looking in my emails, and I thought, oh yeah, there was this bunch of things that I ordered that I'd not received. So I found their online support query email address and messaged them and said, these items from this order I've not received. Got an email back saying, well, according to our track and trace, we definitely delivered them. Maybe it went to your local parcel depot or to a neighbour. You might like to check. I thought it was a bit cheeky. But just on the off chance, I went outside. Out the front, I've got attached to the front of the house a shed, which people often deliver stuff to, so I always check in the shed. But on the end of the shed, there is a small door, which is what used to be a dustbin cupboard. It's just got old bits of wood and cardboard boxes and spiders' webs in it these days. But I thought, I'll check in there. I haven't looked in there for months. And you kind of undo the latch and the hinge creaks with age and rust. And there inside it was the package with the remaining CDs. So it'd been there since the middle of October. So I've retrieved them and brought them in. And they're all very, very cold. They're slightly warming up now. So I'll have a quick run through of what those were. Again, this was just me kind of trolling through World of Books' website and going, that's dirt cheap and moderately interesting looking. I'll give that a go, give that a go. So I was adding to my James Newton Howard collection. So he was in my most recent video. I Am Legend was one item of his that I did not have. I now have. It was one of Naxos's old kind of Golden Age compilation things. This is Max Steiner. We've got All This in Heavens 2 and A Stolen Life. 1940s scores. I have got a compilation from Filmaphone that was called Classic British Film Music. Discovered there's a volume 2, so there's that. This is Muir Mathieson and Ron Goodwin and Larry Adler and people like that, Johnny Dankworth. Yeah. So Philip Green. Classic oldie worldy stuff. Another compilation. This was is this a silver screen? Yeah. Space and Beyond. It's got just your generic collection of science fiction stuff, really. 2001, Apollo 13, The Right Stuff, Species, Life Force, Alien, Capricorn 1, Cocoon, The Black Hole, The Empire Strikes Back, Heavy Metal, Enemy Mine, Close Encounters, Star Wars, Star Trek, various incarnations thereof. Yeah, so that's a 2-disc set. Oops, obviously in a jewel case that's got some of the central spindle broken, so it's not holding onto the disc very well. But and then a Gerhard Heinz compilation. I bought a single of his in Record Store Day about 8 years ago. I thought it was quite amusing, sort of yeah, cheesy sexploitation movie kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the insides of the booklet because YouTube might not like the potential for boobs on show in it, but there we are. Yeah, there's the front cover. Rather unusual booklet that folds vertically. So that's the front of the booklet, and then it yeah, it's stapled lengthwise. Don't see that very often. So that's my much belated receipts for today. I'm sure there'll be more. It's now Wednesday the 7th. Look at this bright sunlight. I'm recording this at pretty much noon. Two more somethings. What have we got this time? This one appears to be from Oxfam. Some sticky labels which say some text goes here. Look at those. Some text goes here. Very handy. We're obviously using up lots of those, just wrapping every piece of tracing paper in. Oh yes, Michael Giacchino's John Carter, aka John Carter of Mars, tends to go for very, very large amounts. About a year and a half ago, I spotted a copy which was going for a decent price, so I snapped it up. But it had got 1 or 2 tracks that actually skip, so it was rather annoying. So this one was the second copy that was also going at a decent price. So I've snapped that up as well. And then we've got more wob stuff. So we'll take the Cake Slice of Doom to this one. Am I blunting this cake slice? I probably am. What have I ordered this time? More BBC nature documentary stuff. This is Nicholas Hooper again. He did the Andes to Amazon, and obviously, notably, a couple of the Harry Potter films. But yeah, Land of the Tiger. A Danny Elfman one, which I had not bought when it came out originally. I think I was put off by the weird title, but you know, it's going cheap now, so don't worry, you won't get far on foot. And another Mark Isham, Crash. So, yeah, looks like it's been in a crash as well. Look, another knackered jewel case. Marvellous. Well, that's it for today. Greetings, folks. It's Thursday the 8th. I have a box from Intrada. See, I'm cutting out all the intro nonsense. So, bubble wrap, chips. What have I ordered from Intrada this time? I've ordered... Oh, they've sent me a nice blank empty jewel case. That's unexpected but helpful. Prancer by Mark Mackenzie. Beavis and Butthead by John Frizzell. Simpsons by John Scott. And Hocus Pocus 2 by John Debney. How about that? A blank jewel case really come in handy because I've got some spares. They've only got black trays and it's quite often clear trays that break. So that will be useful. But nice. More to come, I'm sure. Here's a little bit of personal history of soundtrack collecting. I know some people who collect soundtracks meticulously log what they've got. Maybe in a book, maybe on a spreadsheet, maybe on online sites like Discogs or soundtrackcollector.com or any combination of those. When I started out, well, the last of those options weren't a thing yet. I started out logging mine on little bits of paper, and I originally had just this little kind of 16-page. I think there were pages I'd cut out of a something. So you can see there, number 1, 1987, Fatal Attraction. But I soon filled that up, and so I bought myself an A4 80-page pad from the Co-op. So I transferred what I'd already written in there into this. And I've been using that ever since. It says it's got 80 pages. As it turned out, it's only got 78. So at some point in its history, I must have made such a mess on 2 of the pages that I tore them out and threw them away. Why am I telling you all this? Because today I filled up the last page. Yes, I have only been using the fronts of the pages, so I could theoretically use the backs of the pages, but I don't want to. So I have now got 78 pages full of my soundtrack collection. Now this, for some reason, you can have various criteria. What do you want to include? What do you want to exclude? And I decided in this, I would include full soundtracks for films, irrespective of whether they were score albums or songs albums, but I would exclude TV, video games, other media. I would exclude compilations, and obviously, non-media recordings, so, concertos by otherwise film composers, that sort of thing. So this is just, if it's a score or a soundtrack for 1 or 2 films, and it goes in there and it's full up. So the last thing that went in it, so the first things, as I say, right at the start, what I put in first, there was Fatal Attraction, Edward Scissorhands, Empire of the Sun, Glory, Thelma and Louise, Antarctica, Clockwork Orange, Hardware, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Those were all on cassette. Back to the Future, The Black Hole, Born on the 4th of July, Out of Africa, Blade Runner, Pretty Woman, 2001, A Space Odyssey, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Those were all on CD, on LP rather. And then JFK was the first thing on CD, according to this. Yeah. So, sort of fairly large scale films at the start. And what's at the end? Something of a anticlimax. Cinematically, at any rate. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe by John Frizzell. So what happens when you fill up the thing? As far as I can tell, the co-op don't do stationery anymore. If they do, it would only be in like big branches, and we haven't got a big branch in our town anymore. That's something else that's changed over the last 20, 30 years, whatever it is. There are little kind of co-op micro corner shop things, but yeah. So, to buy a new pad. Wanted to buy an 80 sheet pad, but I couldn't find one. So it's now a bigger, fatter pad from Tesco. And it's now got the first thing in it, first entry. First entry. So the last entry in the last one and the first entry in the new one are both new releases from this year, which a lot of my purchases, you'll have noticed, aren't. I get a lot of historical stuff. So the first one, on page 79, is Prancer, A Christmas Story by Mark Mackenzie. So, how long is that pad going to last me? What's going to expire first, it or me? Merry Christmas. Hello folks, it's Monday the 12th of December now. Been away for a long weekend. As usual, popped into the record shops where we went, which was Ramsgate again, a place which has apparently got 3 record stores. We'd visited one of them on my last visit, found the others, and got a record and a CD, and also a haranguing from the shopkeeper who was an anti-masker. But despite that, he consented to sell us Dmitry Tiomkin, the Magnificent Showman, and Mark Isham in the Valley of Ella for 10 quid between the two of them. And then upon returning, 2 jiffy bags. One's clearly from the Big River people. They feel like they're both CDs. Let's have a look, see what they are. Yes, that's a new release. It's Daniel Pemberton's sequel to Enola Holmes. And the other one was a book and nothing to do with film music, so you don't need to worry about that. It's now, what is it, the 15th? I've gone practically more than half a month just editing together chunks and chunks and chunks of this, and it's adding up to more than half an hour. Do you want to watch any more of me just talking about shit that I've received? No, you don't. So, as I said at the end of the last clip, Merry Christmas. I suspect there's more. Here in the UK, we are in the middle of a postal strike. The news is full of drone pictures of Royal Mail depots piling up with huge quantities of deliveries undelivered. this may account for the fact that lots of things that I have been ordering are just not here yet. Along with other things that one might expect. So there's probably going to be more before Christmas. I hope there's going to be more before Christmas. But for the sake of not stringing this out any further, I'm going to say stay fresh, cheese bags.